Warning. This show contains strong language and topics that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by, as you see me laying face down. Your head by the sword in your eye.
Hello wrestling fans and welcome to another edition of the Suplah. I am Eddie Quad, and with me is Sam Brooks.
Good evening, children.
What? And also, Keelan Boulders.
Good evening, adults.
So, Keelan, what is our first news item?
The Nature Boy, but not that one. The other one, Buddy Landel, has passed away, sadly, at actually, we don't know what age. The Wikipedia says 52, but some websites are saying 53. I don't know whether people just can't add up properly, because I added up the Wikipedia date of birth, and it's 52, but nonetheless, he was found unresponsive in his home on Monday, and it's believed he had some kind of complications following a car accident that he suffered at the weekend before that. He went to hospital, was cleared to go home, but then it seems like there was obviously some kind of undetected problem, and he passed away in his home. For those that don't know, Buddy Landel made his name in the early 80s in the Memphis territory, alongside people like Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee. And he was actually trained by Boris Malenko, which is Dean Malenko's dad, and Carl Gotch, who is obviously one of the kind of well-known technical stars from way, way, way back in the day. And a couple of years into Buddy Landel's career, which is what most people kind of remember him from, he adopted a Ric Flair Nature Boy gimmick, which was basically a heel move to build up a feud between both of them. And, who's the real Nature Boy and all that kind of thing. And he was actually supposed to win the NWA World title, but because his plane was delayed, before this kind of big storyline, they changed the plans, and there was kind of a running joke throughout his career that, he just had bad luck. He was supposed to get a big push in WWE in the early 90s, but then he suffered a quad injury, and they never brought him back. Basically, where I know him from was kind of the early 2000s. He was on the indie scene. I remember watching, when I first got the internet. There's a lot of promotions that put kind of 1 hour TV shows on the internet, and he worked the kind of local Memphis show that I think Jerry Lawler owned it or booked it or something.
Was that like Memphis Wrestling or something?
Yeah.
It was on like the Wrestling Channel over here.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Like, there was the original Memphis from like the 80s, and then Jerry Lawler like started it again, and it was like a little local kind of studio thing. But he used to wrestle there and was basically on the indies on and off until he recently passed away, so rest in peace, the Nature Boy Buddy Landel.
I mean, it's always sad whenever a person in the business passes away. I mean, we just dealt with the unfortunate passing of Dusty Rhodes, and I'm not saying that this compares at all, but it's just always a sad thing whenever anyone dies, no matter how they die. And I mean, 50's not quite an old age, it's still pretty young for a person. I mean, hell, Sting is older than that, and he's still going, so you gotta think, maybe he had something left in the tank, but if we're to believe this whole bad luck curse that he has, maybe not.
And I just want to make a note here to all the people on the Wrestling Pundit Facebook page. Don't be pricks. There was like all these people mocking him, and like saying Ric Flair's the real Nature Boy, and all this bullshit, like...
Well, technically they nicked that off Buddy Rogers, so...
Yeah. I don't know whether these are just old fans that think it's still real, or...
Still real to them, damn it. Even when he dies, they're like, oh, he's such a heel.
But, yeah, don't be dicks, but...
Yep, don't be a bellend.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't be like Liam.
Exactly.
Where is Liam? This is his show, damn it.
He is on a pilgrimage to some far-off land where he is accepted as a person.
That's impossible. Nowhere on earth can accept him.
Oh, which is why he's going to be gone for a while. So you're stuck with us for now. But
Hooray! Fucking hell.
well, maybe not all of us for long, and you might die before the show ends.
Well, speaking of things and shows ending, the Impact tapings that
So
are coming
morbid.
up in July, TNA talent are concerned that those tapings will be the company's last. According to several sources within TNA, many talents, including some veterans, are afraid that the company's July TV tapings will be their last because the tapings are set to take place from July 22nd through to the 29th, with many of the days being used to film 2 weeks worth of TV. And that's enough to take the show into September, which is when previous reports have suggested that Destination America intends to opt out their agreement with the company to Impact. Emails are being sent to talent keeping an optimistic tone and say that the upcoming tapings for both the domestic and international TV broadcasts are going to be fine. However, there's fears that if the show does get cancelled, they won't be able to find a new TV deal because TNA is basically damaged goods, aka it's a pile of wank.
So it's once again, it's on the cusp of being no more. I swear they've been on the cusp of dying at least 5 times this year alone, but could this be the final nail in the coffin? Because if there's no more TV tapings, then what else is there other than house shows, which no one will go to?
I wonder though, because TNA obviously costs X amount of money to tape a TV show. Apparently one of the reasons why Destination America were looking to bring Ring of Honor in is because Ring of Honor already produces their TV show, whereas Destination America, I think they pay for TNA's production or something like that.
I think so, yeah. They helped to produce it because Spike helped to produce Impact originally.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
That would explain the big rebranding that they went under when they moved to Destination America.
And that's why the production looks like complete shit.
Well, it's not terrible, but...
In comparison to them being on Spike.
Oh, sure, in comparison to Spike, it's god-awful, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. There are a couple of, other promotions I know of that have terrible quality, and they're supposed to be lauded amongst the IWC.
Yeah, there is a bit of a double standard there, I think, but I think the problem with TNA is they don't own their status. Like, if they accepted they were an indie fed and built up a more of a rebel image, then maybe people would get behind them, but because they're just trying to be slicker than they are, it's like you're just not facing reality. Like, there's no one in the audience, but you're pretending this is like this giant show with all this TV stuff.
And the thing that bugs the crap out of me is it's not like they're a company that doesn't have any money behind them. They're owned by an energy company. As I'm losing my voice for some reason. It's been fine all day, but now deciding it wants to do that. They have an entire energy company backing them. I don't understand, TNA, if you believe what Paul Heyman has said in the past, he said that TNA have lost hundreds of millions a month. Not hundreds, that'd be a bit too much. Tens of millions
They've lost all of their money over the past month.
Okay, well, they might as well have, because you think that's what they've done. But they've lost a huge sum of money on a regular basis.
They've never been profitable in the long run.
So why stop now? Because now, by not being able to pay your superstars, because now people are saying that their paychecks are late and people are just not being paid, and now because they have wanted to save money by taping about 6 months worth of programming in a row, the Slammiversary, is it this Sunday?
I believe it's soon. It might be this Sunday or it might be next
Holy
Sunday. I'm going to
shit.
double check this.
Right, and here's the worst thing about it. Their tapings, they've taped shows after Slammiversary now.
Slammiversary takes place on June 28th, which is this week.
Yeah, that's the thing, and they've taped shows for after Slammiversary. How does that work?
It doesn't. To be quite honest, it doesn't work.
And this is all on the basis of trying to save money. It's just fucking dumb. It's doesn't make sense. You can't make any money without, putting some money into something. You need to invest.
The thing with TNA is, ever since Panda Energy took over, it's never been a case of when is it gonna die? Oh, this happened. Oh, it's dying. It's basically when Bob Carter and Janice Carter decide to stop giving it money. Tomorrow they could put like millions and millions and millions into it. I don't think it necessarily matters whether the TV deal goes or not, because it's just, then they've never been making money, so they could just put it on YouTube, they could do whatever. It just all comes down to whether they can be bothered to keep giving Dixie Carter this credit card to run her little thing. It seems like in recent years they've tried to actually balance the books. You know, they got rid of a lot of the really high contracted talent. AJ Styles went and all that kind of thing. So it seems like they've been trying to make it more of a proper business. But who the fuck knows? And the only people that know is old Bob and Janice.
Yeah, but it's deeply concerning because TNA have let go a bunch of people, haven't they, Sam?
They have, but before we get on to this, I want to talk about the current storylines that are in TNA right now.
You're going to have to enlighten me, because I have no clue.
Like, because I had to look up when Slammiversary was, because none of us pay attention to TNA in the slightest.
No one does.
I'm looking at the card now. The pay-per-view is this Sunday. As
Okay.
of this recording, it's this Sunday. Do you know how many matches are booked?
2.
4.
What?
There are 4 matches booked for this pay-per-view. None of them
Is
for
it
the world
Mickey James versus Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah, it's in a Full Metal Mayhem match? No. Let's run down this card. Okay, first thing we have is James Storm versus Magnus in a singles match.
Why?
I don't know.
Because he pushed his wife in front of a train.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason.
Okay, right, continue forward.
Undisclosed participants for the King of the Mountain match. They haven't announced who's in it.
Jeff
At
Jarrett.
all.
What? Okay, wait. Isn't the idea of the match to hang up a title?
Yeah.
So
They've
what
literally
title?
just said the King of the Mountain match is coming back. They've not said what title it's for. They've not said who's going to be in it. Hell, we won't even know until the match starts, probably.
I bet they changed the rules. I bet it's different. I bet they can't afford the penalty boxes, so they'll do something else.
It's literally just put the title on the hook match. That's all it is. There's nothing
Pin
else.
the tail on the donkey.
That's all it is. Pin the title on the hook. Next up, we have the Wolves versus Dirty Heels, which is the team of Austin Aries and Bobby Roode.
Oh, that's a stupid name because
They're called the Dirty Heels?
No.
Oh, I get it, because they're bad guys. No.
Is Vince Russo back? Is he secretly bucking this again? I guess we'll know when Dixie sends an email to someone else who's called Vince or something.
Probably, but the thing that gets me about this is that this is match number 5 in a best-of-5 series for the vacant TNA tag titles.
Who are the Dirty Heels, though?
Austin Aries and Bobby Roode.
Oh. What are they? Oh, bleh.
But I'm looking at the history of this, and basically the tag titles were vacated because the Wolves fucked up and Eddie Edwards got injured. Right?
And then Jeff Hardy injured himself.
Jeff Hardy injured himself, so already that's fucked. And now they're having a best-of-5 series to decide the winners.
A best of until TNA die series.
Yeah, the show is going to end with the tag titles being decided and then nothing else. Oh, and also we have Jesse Goddard and Robbie E for no reason. So the bromans have obviously broken up
Okay.
and are facing each other.
Right.
Weren't they supposed to be like the best tag team?
No, they're only good because
I
of
quite like
DJZ. That was the only good reason. That was it. That was the only good reason.
But yeah, they've broken up now, so...
Fan-fucking-tastic.
There's no match for the world title!
I thought it was
I thought
EC3 and
Yeah.
Kurt Angle or something.
I thought EC3 was taking on Kurt Angle. That's the only thing I know that's happening in TNA.
You'd think, wouldn't you? But I'm
Oh
looking
my
at this
God.
card,
are you,
and right
are you
now,
telling me? Are
there's
you
nothing
telling
there.
me that that's going to be on Impact and not on pay-per-view?
Who the fuck knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
but isn't Slammiversary just airing on Destination
No,
America?
this is a pay-per-view.
An actual pay-per-view.
Slammiversary 13 for pay-per-view.
Who the fuck is... No one's gonna even see it!
And there's no world title match. This is like their second biggest pay-per-view.
You know what they should do? They should do YouTube pay-per-views where you pay like $2 or $5, because you can do that now. So why don't they do that? At least they'd probably get more people.
Well, yeah, but actually no, this card is bollocks. So no,
I'm looking at this, and literally their biggest angle right now is James Storm versus Magnus.
There's no world title
James
match. What the fuck is the point in this?
And apparently, they did an angle where James Storm kicked a baby off of the Impact stage.
What?
I'm not kidding.
Was there a train there as well?
Maybe. Let's read. On June 17th, Magnus would charge into the Impact Zone and says that he's halting the show and he's not leaving until James Storm shows his face.
Was it his kid?
Maybe.
Baby
Storm shows
Mickey.
up and talks trash about Magnus and his family, which causes Magnus to explode and try to desperately reach James Storm, but security repeatedly stands him away until Magnus fights them off. When Magnus charges towards Storm, Storm kicks a stroller off of the stage. Magnus panics and finds the baby was only a doll. What? Is
Who
this an
brought the
actual thing
baby
that's happening?
Who brought the baby to the stage?
Storm.
I was going to say, if Magnus brought it out and it's a doll...
Why are they doing a Snitsky angle?
Who brings a baby to the Impact Zone? Even if it's your own.
It's not a real baby, that's the thing. So James Storm, let's look at this from kayfabe. He went to Toys R Us, and he was like, fuck it, I just want to get a Cabbage Patch Kids thing.
He went there with all of his stable. Can you imagine Manic in Toys R Us? He's just looking at all the like luchador action figures being like, oh, it was a simpler time.
Well, and then there's that random Indian guy that doesn't talk.
Yeah,
like,
quite.
I don't have a shirt on, I'm wearing pants.
This
Doesn't even have
entire
his own
thing
merch.
this thing needs to stop. It just needs to stop. I don't care. I don't care anymore.
What
Literally-
annoys me is James Storm was one of the biggest faces in the company. He was one of the few people that actually got a genuine reaction wherever they went as that kind of badass cowboy. Yeah, it was a bit Steve Austin light, but it worked. And then he just became this weirdo that, like, broke in...
He's a poor man's Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt isn't even good. Bray Wyatt is basically a glorified jobber. Fuck Raw.
Oh, come on.
No,
It's ridiculous,
he's
Andy.
fucking shit.
Oh, there's no sense arguing with you because you're so stubborn, nothing will ever change your mind,
I'm not
but...
stubborn, he's shit. Itsy bitsy spider.
I'm not stubborn, I'm just stubborn.
Whatever.
He should have been the champion by now.
No.
Very
It's
good
like
point.
the thing with Bray Wyatt is he's on the side. I guess
Really
he's kind of
is.
like the Undertaker, but he's not quite got the Undertaker's vibe, so I don't know. But they
No,
could have
he
pulled the
does,
trigger
though.
long ago and gave him a title and gave him a proper...
I agree with that. He does, I say he does have the vibe that will, like, get him as one
What
of
is
the
this
biggest
obsession
heels
with
of the
nursery
company.
rhymes? He's just like, I'm a little teapot, short and spout. Oh, fuck off.
Short and spout.
Stout, short and spaff. I don't
Short and
fucking know. I didn't have a childhood. Leave me alone. Anyway, so, what's going on?
God, you can barely string a sentence together. How are you going to form an argument against me?
Well,
Oh.
talk about people who've been released by TNA, because things just get worse.
Stings.
Yes, indeed.
Stings
Due to
just get
TNA's
worse.
Stings just get worse. According to TNA, they can't afford to keep certain people, including Gunner, because people will miss him.
Wait. If you can't afford Gunner, you're fucked.
And, not only him, Sam Shaw.
Samuel. Sure.
Oh,
Wait,
Samuel
wasn't that the creepy
Shaw.
weirdo that was stalking Christy Hemming?
Yes,
who
it
is also
was.
gone, by the way?
Yes, it was.
He went from
What
like a
the-
skateboarder to someone with a stereotypical form of autism? Or
Kind of.
psychopathy?
Anyway, let's get into the details of this. Basically, it was a company decision to release Gunner and Samuel Shaw from their TNA contracts. Neither man did anything to really cause the release. It's simply a case of creative having nothing for them right now, and the door is open for them to return in the future. So, when creative has nothing for people in TNA, they fire them.
It's a case of, we've got this really awesome idea. Sam Shaw's going to be like this stalker mental person. but we don't know how it ends, so we're going to release him halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. And it's even worse with Gunner, right? And I'll get to that later, but both of them obviously tweeted after their release, Gunner saying, "It's a new chapter and I'm not worried. Book now at this email address." And he's already appearing on indie shows, so apparently Gunner's in high demand for whatever reason.
He has a decent look. Like, I think he could get a little push in WWE and see how he goes.
The thing is, if he drops the name Gunner, I think he'd be alright. It's just Gunner is the most retarded name I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Do you know why he's called Gunner?
I know, he's a former army veteran.
That's what made him shit.
He's a former army veteran, and he was a gunner.
That never works, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's kind of nauseating, isn't it? Like, people don't want this patriotic bullshit anymore. Half the country doesn't even support the troops anymore. Shut the fuck up and just do something else.
Pretty fair point, but Sam Shaw also tweeted that he's able to explore new artistic ventures thanks for essentially maximizing my talent, according to him. Did they do that? Did they maximize his talent?
If that's the maximum of his talent, then he is...
You sure he's not being ironic, like, thanks for that shitty gimmick, now I can do something else?
Thanks for making the most of me whilst you had me. Maybe. But, it's been rumored that Gunner could go to GFW, and... Okay, fine, he's not going to be a shining star on that roster, which has Scott Steiner on it, but, you know, he could maybe have a couple of good matches here and there. Shaw feels that he could have been a main eventer in the company. No.
How? His name is Samuel, okay? No.
What are you going to say about that, Andy?
Oh yeah, bollocks.
What are you going to say? No, finish that sentence.
No, I mean...
No, but finish that sentence, Foley.
Sam is good. Samuel. Perhaps not.
It's the same name, you
There's
dummy.
Too many syllables.
Too many syllables.
It's like calling
too many syllables.
Jonathan Cena. It just wouldn't be shit.
It's like calling him Felix.
What?
Shaw also feels that he could be an artist in any promotion, so maybe he takes himself a bit too seriously.
Yeah, that's probably why they gave him the gimmick. It's like, you want to be a pretentious prick, then you can have this gimmick.
Stalk Christy Hemme. But let's look at their TNA profiles, because they've both been employed, like, since 2010, and they've had similar career paths.
What the fuck?
They've had similar career paths. Let's have a look.
5 years!
Gunner is mostly known for tagging with James Storm and winning the tag titles, which he did eventually lose to the Bromans.
Oh my god, he was with, what's his name? The fucking other security guard guy in the Hogan era. What the fuck was his name? Murphy, that's it!
He was also with Ric Flair.
Oh my god, I completely forgot all about that!
And then he went on to win the Feast or Fired briefcase, which is essentially their weird, modified Money in the Bank, which guaranteed him a shot at the world title, which he lost against Magnus because it was cost by James Storm, and then he went on to beat Storm in an I Quit match. Then he won a future shot at the TNA world title, which, up until his release, he never got.
Then his dad was in the audience for a segment and was pulled over the railing and beat the fuck out of. And then in the next segment, his dad was in the audience because they don't know how to edit shows.
Oh yeah, that did happen. It's like, oh, he's fine now. It's okay. Imagine if they did that on Raw. Remember when Randy Orton just beat the shit out of John Cena's dad for no reason, and then they show all of these replays. They show like 5 replays of him being stretchered out, and then you cut to a straight-up camera shot of him sitting at ringside being like, oh, hello. It's the same thing.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But then he tagged with Samuel Shaw, then he feuded with Samuel Shaw, then he went away.
Yeah. He wanted to help Samuel Shaw for no given reason, really.
He did. He became Samuel Shaw's carer.
And then Samuel Shaw started molesting Brittany in the middle of the ring.
Oh god, yeah, that was a thing. Let's take a look at what Shaw's done. He won Gut Check.
That's when he was like noteworthy. A skateboarder.
Yeah, he did nothing noteworthy. Then he went back to OVW, and then he debuted as Samuel Shaw at the end of 2013 with like a Patrick Bateman, Dexter Morgan hybrid gimmick. And to be fair, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
for like
it wasn't
a week.
bad. Like, I think they could have executed it a little bit better. That's the thing with wrestling, and TNA, and even WWE. They just forget logic.
Yeah,
they could do all these things perfectly well if they just sat down and thought about it. But yeah,
I get that he's meant to be like this whole like creepy stalker guy, but who in their right mind would want to stalk Christy Hemme when Brooke Tessmacher is also on your roster?
This is true, yes.
Come on!
Badass.
Exactly, but he basically had a
prefer
thing with
Christy.
Mr. Anderson for a while, where he was stalking Christy Hemme, but he had a pretty cool submission move, which was Kata Gatame, I believe, which is like a side chokehold move used in judo, so that's pretty unique. So he had that going for him, but he lost a committed match and went to a mental home until he got broken out of by Gunner.
This is like WCW 99 or something.
Yeah, really. So Gunner basically broke him out and was like, I'm your parole officer now, basically, because I have nothing else to do.
We let cameras into padded cells.
Yeah, really! I never got that. It's like, Gunner's here with a camera crew. He may be in the mental home, but we still have to tape our wrestling show. Like, what? So he came back, he acted kind of like a face apologising to Hemme and Mr. Anderson, and then he feuded with Gunner. And then Brittany was thrown in the mix for whatever reason. This all happened in October.
Oh no,
by
I
the
remember
way.
why they fell out. Because Sam Shaw put on Gunner's army uniform.
What?
Yeah.
What? I know nothing about this.
This
Carry
is
on.
giving me a headache.
It was like, this is my army uniform. I'm gonna leave it in this hotel room and the camera's gonna zoom in on it. Then in 5 minutes, Sam Shaw's gonna be wearing it.
Why was he wearing the military uniform?
Because
What is
he
happening?
wanted to be like,
'Cause he's crazy.
yeah, I suppose.
Oh my god, I hate you.
But all of this happened last October. He's not done anything since then, and he's only just been released now.
No wonder they're losing money, for fuck's sake.
Like, what the hell? Use your people better, for God's sake.
They'll just use them!
Use your people!
It's not
Stop
hard, is
relying
it?
on Kurt Angle.
Like, literally, the only good thing they've done in the past year is EC3. That's literally it. They took Derek Bankman, a guy who was completely shit, and he's made him the fucking superstar. That's all they've done.
I disagree. He was never completely shit. He's always had the potential to be a star. It's just
Okay.
the Derek Bateman gimmick wasn't the best.
Well, they turned something shit into something good. Like, the guy is amazing. When he came out to celebrate becoming #1 contender, that's the only thing I've seen. And he had like a band, he had like fucking balloons and shit. Fucking amazing.
Yeah,
They've left it too
EC3 is
fucking
great.
long though.
I guess, but like, EC3 in general is great, and that's probably the only good thing Dixie Carter has ever done for the company is giving EC3 a reason to be there. Like, I don't know, just TNA talent is never utilized to the best of their ability, and it's always, like, it sucks, simply put, that they're never used to the best of their ability.
I never understand why TNA. You know, we always looked at or we did before NXT. We always looked at WWE as the company that looked down on the indie darlings. But TNA never bloody signs any of them.
No, they sign ex-WWE people. That's
And
all
the
they
thing
do.
is- the thing is, as well, is that, like, they sign people who you've never heard of. Which I kind of understand the reasoning why, is that they can mold them and shape them to be TNA wrestlers. So it creates the illusion that they're like their original stars or whatever. But this is why NXT is so damn popular. It's because they have Kevin Owens, they have Sami Zayn, who wasn't a guy in a mask. They have, like, all of these indie people. Samoa Joe, you know, they have all these fucking people. And they happen to make their own stars. Granted, some of them are fucking terrible, but, you know, Tyler Breeze is good, and
Finally, the one sensible thing you've said this entire show.
Tyler Breeze is good, and Tyler Breeze is good, but, you know...
Yeah?
I'm
Anyone
not
else?
Dad, shut up! So, yeah, basically,
It's true, he did have a child.
No, it's my sister going, Dad! I'm like, shut up, damn it.
Dad,
so-
feed me! Shut up, I'm talking about wrestling!
Shut up, damn it! I'm trying to have fun. So yeah. What were you going on to talk about? Because I'm sick of talking it to you now.
Yeah, well, Shaw and Gunner may be gone, rest in peace, God rest their souls, but what else is going down lately?
Well, Raw ratings have
There you
also
go.
gone down. Even with the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Monday Night Raw drew a 2.63 rating, and that's down from 2.83 from last week. Why is everyone laughing? Raw average.
You can't talk! You
Raw-
suck at reading.
Raw average. What now? You're putting me off. I can't. What are you doing? Raw average 3.670 million viewers, down from 4.113 million average last week. Raw was competing with the Women's World Cup, however, and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, whatever the fuck that is. What?
Oh,
Is it the way I said Brock Lesnar?
I don't know.
oh,
I
God.
tried to do the Paul Heyman Brock thing, but I ended up like nearly...
Sounded like you were choking.
Yeah, I nearly ended up dying. So people, you better be happy I tried that.
So basically, Raw's ratings
Jesus
went down.
Christ. Yeah, Raw's gone down, even though they brought in Brock Lesnar to fix it. He didn't fix it. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we shouldn't rely on Lesnar to fix our shit.
Because, can I rant about Raw? Because it was all horrible.
I'll probably get some counterpoints afterwards, but go on.
Right, I have to write the review for this show. I'm now tempted never to write this thing again.
Oh, you have to write the review? Oh, God forbid you have to talk about it for an hour on a show.
It's so fucking
Shut
bad.
up, you cretin.
Right, there's two, three things that I've just truly god awful about it. One, Kane!
Okay,
Kane
fair point.
needs to go the fuck away.
Kane's hilarious.
No, he's not. It's
Hang on,
not
what?
hilarious.
What? How
It's-
is he
it's-
hilarious?
How the fuck is he hilarious, Keelan?
He's in a suit.
That's
Funny.
not hilarious.
How
you're,
is that
you're
funny?
the problem. You're literally the problem, right?
You're
People
part
like
of a
you,
problem,
They're
Keelan.
like, LOL, he's wearing slacks. That's not good, okay? The fact is that Kane is basically a disease. He won't go away. He won't, you try everything. Old age, you try just fucking everything. You put the mask on him, he sucks. Just make him go away, okay?
What did you
He's
just say?
terrible.
What point
He's
did
bad.
you try and just make? You try everything, you try old age. What does that mean, Andy?
But basically, Kane he's old now. There's no point in him even being there anymore, right? Well, we gotta keep Kane strong, right? Remember Dean Ambrose? Me neither.
What do you mean
And,
you gotta keep
know-
Kane strong? They haven't kept Kane strong in about
Oh,
2 years.
Fuck, yes they have. They've been keeping Kane strong for ages.
He
Oh,
won 7 matches last year.
yeah, but this
7.
year, the point is...
This
that
year?
The moment Kane...
This year he's won 1.
The moment
one
Kane...
match.
The
had
moment
one
Kane
match.
chokeslammed Brock...
He's had 1 match.
The moment Kane chokeslammed Brock, I was like, well, Brock's fucked. And
What do you mean
then,
he's
and
fucked?
then, and now Dean is fucked. Dean is now in this fucking
Oh god,
purgatory feud with Kane.
you
He's-
remove things to the worst extreme without actually looking at the bigger picture.
I am looking at the bigger
Exactly, you're not looking at the bigger
Fuck's
picture,
sake,
that's
I
the
meant to say
problem.
I am looking at the bigger picture.
No,
Kane
but get
sucks.
this. No, but get this, right? If Brock Lesnar had no weaknesses whatsoever, if he was just unbeatable forever, that would be boring.
But, okay, no, because...
Hey, you know who else is boring? Superman.
he's a
Same
beast.
thing.
Brock Lesnar is a beast. His gimmick is he can beat the shit out of multiple people in one fucking match. He was doing that. He did that at the Rumble. He beat like 2 other people. And he's been beating the shit out of random people for months.
Sent
And then
Jamie Noble to the hospital.
This whole, okay, yes, but this whole dissension thing between the Authority and them hating Seth Rollins for months, right, is now just been a total waste of time, because suddenly for no actual reason, they just somehow are now all buddy and friends. And on top of that, for no fucking reason at all, Dean Ambrose is, like, just not doing anything. So these past 3 months have actually been a total waste of your time. That's what they're saying. There's no point watching fucking any of these filler pay-per-views, cause there's no point. There's no point. There's no point even watching the product if Brock ain't there. But then, for some reason, Brock is there and no one's watching. So, fucking go figure out that one.
Fanboy.
I'm not a fanboy. I'm
You're
just
such a
saying, I'm
fanboy.
wasting my fucking money and
No
time.
one must ever beat Brock Lesnar ever. He must forever remain
I'm not
strong.
saying no one should ever beat the guy, but for God's sake, it's like, he didn't help. He had to apologize at the start of the night like a little bitch, and then fucking he gets beaten up by 5 people. Oh yeah, okay,
Oh,
he
5
broke Jamie
people.
Noble's
Just
ribs.
5 people.
Whatever, it's Brock Lesnar. He should be able to fucking beat the shit out of anyone.
5 people is more than enough.
He beat The Undertaker! In theory, then, he should be able to beat
Oh, a
the shit out of
50-year-old
anyone.
man?
What?
God forbid anyone's able to beat a 50-year-old man with ease.
Just but in kayfabe, it's like saying... Oh, it
With
doesn't
ease?
matter. The point
Whipped
is...
his ass at WrestleMania 30.
The final thing that's wrong with this show is Bray Wyatt.
Oh, here we go. You've always hated
okay.
Bray Wyatt. What else do you have to bring to the table with this?
Right.
What's new, Andy?
The segment where Roman Reigns goes backstage and finds the room that
Was
Bray
good.
Wyatt's in.
It was a good segment.
No, it was fucking terrible.
It was a good segment.
It was fucking terrible.
No, it was a good
because
segment.
He keeps singing, I'm a little teapot, and I get why, but if you've just tuned in, you'd be like, why is he singing nursery rhymes? There's like, and then, as
Sorry,
he's
what
in
was
the
the point
room,
there?
omnisciently, Bray Wyatt is still singing, I'm a little teapot, and it's like, where is that coming from? What the fuck?
That's the point.
No, it's not the point. It's insulting. This is the reality era, right?
It's insulting.
It's insulting to my intelligence, which I have a very...
What intelligence?
Shut up!
You clearly
The
don't
point
have
is-
much to be
the point,
insulted.
yeah, but the point is, why would that be playing okay, so Bray Wyatt has many magical powers. He has the power to say derp and randomly appear and then disappear when he says derp. He also has the new magical power of being able to do a voiceover in other people's lives. He's like The Undertaker, but like really shit. And they've been lying to you, man! He's not good.
You made literally no points.
I did!
No, you didn't.
That was a stupid thing that happened!
No, it wasn't. It was
It
effective. It was effective. It furthered
It wasn't
the feud.
effective. It was dumb. You go back to that segment. No one cared.
God, there's no point arguing with you, is there?
I'm not.
'Cause-
I'm telling you it like it is.
No, you're not.
You're
You're telling
a
it how
fanboy
you
for
see
Bray
it.
Wyatt. I mean, god damn, you're like, Andy's a fanboy for Brock Lesnar. No, I hate Brock Lesnar. I think his gimmick's awesome.
Oh, now you hate Brock Lesnar.
I hate
Okay.
him in this position. I hate that he's in the main event. Because of the point I said earlier. It's like
He's
a
been
waste
in the
of-
main event for over a year, you idiot.
Yeah, but it was shit. Doo-doo-doo. Anyway, the point is...
You're such
That
a
segment-
fucking
that
moron. I'm
segment
not even
was
going
so
to entertain these
intelligent.
ideas anymore.
Also, Big Show has never looked more fat, ever. So he needs to go away.
That I will agree with you on.
Well, it's
I'm
a
fucking
King.
fat. Like, that's... when he was talking to Ryback, I'm like, fucking shit. Eat a salad. God.
So Raw's ratings have gone down.
Yep.
Is the main
And
point we're meant to be talking
I've
about.
explained perfectly why. Big
No,
Show
you
and
haven't.
Kane are...
The thing
Oh,
with
no, sir.
Raw ratings, they go up or down. No one even fucking knows why. It's just people 1 week something more interesting's on.
I mean,
No,
there
no
was
one's like really. Oh my god, I gotta watch Raw. So
It
it
is-
just
I mean, the-
fluctuates.
the Women's World Cup was on, so I'm guessing...
Yeah, there's
that
always
was
going to
on.
be another big event
Totally.
going on at some point. You can never really just blame what's happening on Raw as to why it has low ratings.
To me, it's usually what happens on Raw this week will no doubt impact the rating next week, because it'll either be really shit or something really good will happen, and you'll be like, oh, I missed that, I'll tune in next week. Like, you can't always look at ratings by what is actually on the show, because you don't always know what's on the show until you watch it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think one of the
But-
bigger problems they have is obviously the length of the show. 3 hours is
Oh,
too
it's
long.
terrible.
It's too long. I can't. Right.
And we
I
have...
have to say something.
Oh, do you?
No, it's an inside thing.
Do you
It's
really?
it's-
Alright, go.
I don't watch the full shows to do rule reviews because I just can't. I can't bring myself to sit there for 3 hours. So I have to look at like clips, their highlights, because I'm like, I can't deal with this.
Well, that's fair enough, but... Another problem I have is the way they build towards pay-per-views. Especially with this one, we have 5 weeks until Battleground. That's way, way too long to build a pay-per-view for. Call me crazy, I liked it when it was 2 weeks built to a pay-per-view.
No, I didn't like that at all.
You set up the angle in the first week, you carry it out in the second week, and you finish it at the pay-per-view. Easy.
It depends. I think they should kind of... Sometimes it's never long enough. Sometimes it's... I don't know, just case by case.
I mean,
You should have long-running storylines and some that are shorter and some that...
The weird thing about it is that this is a long build to Battleground, which is kind of, for years it's kind of been there, and it's what I would call a filler pay-per-view for
It's only been around for
SummerSlam.
like 2 years, hasn't it? Hasn't
Well,
been around for that long.
Okay, for SummerSlam, right? Like, it's a filler pay-per-view for SummerSlam. SummerSlam should have 5-6 weeks build.
Yeah,
If you really
definitely.
care about it that much. I don't know how much build SummerSlam has, but it just seems ridiculous how Battleground has all this time to build it. I don't know if that's because Brock is only going to be there like twice, but it's just ridiculous.
It is quite strange, and I think with SummerSlam you have 4 weeks build because that's kind of the model that they're going with from now on, but I liked it when it was 2 weeks between, because you had more focus. You're able to plan it out better, you're able to see it through to the end. This one is going to have so many ups and downs.
Are you saying that the writing team is only good enough to be able to write a 2-week storyline at a time?
Pretty much. I mean, am I wrong? Prove me wrong. Long-term booking has never really worked out in their favour. Except for that
they
one
don't do
time
it.
a couple of years ago. Like, there was that one time a couple of years ago with John Cena and The Rock, the first time round. That's pretty much the only instance I can think of where long-term
I would
booking
say
has actually worked out better.
I'd say Daniel Bryan winning the belt, but I don't even know if that was...
I wouldn't even classify that as long-term booking, because the storyline just dwindled in and out of focus as and when. Like, it had its up period from SummerSlam, and then he had the 2014 period with the Wyatt family, and then he was back in the main event. It's like, was that really a case of long-term booking, or was that just them with a fire under their ass?
Sam, is that the sound of a Bray Wyatt feud sucking? Oh, yes, it is. Okay.
You're clearly not listening. I just said it was a down period where he wasn't involved in the main title picture, you fucking moron. But anyway, I'm tired of talking about Raw. So let's talk about Raw some more, because Jamie Noble got injured on Raw when Brock Lesnar broke his ribs.
Okay, what actually happened? Because
Basically,
see-
I
Just
was
threw him into the
watching
barricade.
this, and essentially Brock Lesnar slammed Jamie Noble into like the corner barricade where the ramp and the ring are, and he just broke his ribs there on impact, and 3 of his ribs were broken because he got thrown into the guardrail. He tweeted about the incident after it happened, thanking staff and fans for their messages. He couldn't breathe at first, but Team WWE took no chances with his health. Chaos of the event didn't really make it onto TV. There was a couple of moments where the Authority looked lost in the final segment because of obviously what just happened. There were stretchers taking him out, but the weird thing is that Raw Fallout posted a video on the YouTube of Jamie Noble being ambulanced out of the arena. Yeah, and it's like,
But not what happened.
yeah, it's like you're gonna gloss over how he broke his ribs. You're gonna show him being escorted out of the arena in an ambulance. Like, how much of this is real and how much of it is in kayfabe?
I think that's why some people were calling it like a work, because they were actually promoting it in a way, but
In a way.
who knows? But what's annoying me is you get all these stupid fucking keyboard warriors that throw the fucking baby out of the pram and they're like, oh my god, Brock Lesnar is so out of control. He fucking injures everybody apart from just Jamie Noble. It's not like he's
really.
injured a whole long line of people, but that's how people are making it out. Just an accident.
When you say pushing the baby out the pram, is that like James Storm, or is that just...
It's exactly like James Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been seeing ramblings about that online as well. Like, oh, Lesnar injured someone, he's unsafe. It's like, well, when was the last time he did that?
Everybody in the business loves Brock Lesnar. They think he's the best. Do you think Undertaker would have jobbed to him? He's the one of the few guys that makes it still seem real. That means he's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
No
he's a
one
safe
thinks
worker.
he's a... Yeah, no one thinks he's... Oh, he can't even wrestle. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, the thing is, I think it's because Brock was in UFC, so people are just like, right, just punch him in the face for real, stop it! It's like, what? No, he clearly knows what he's doing,
People
That's
like
what
to
makes him so
forget that
good.
he's not always been an MMA person. He was in the WWE for several years, and he was an amateur wrestler before that, so he clearly knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And I said I like Brock, but not in the main event, but whatever. I mean, it's a shame Jamie Noble got hurt, but
Yeah, he's one of the most entertaining things on Raw right now, along with Joey Mercury.
I
love
How do
Jamie
we know that Jamie Noble didn't just go in his ear, right, Brock, throw me now? Like, we don't know how that will happen.
Yeah,
Does
maybe.
it mean Brock Lesnar just
Could've
picked
been.
him up and went, right, smash? Like,
Brock smash! Like, that's not, I don't think that's how Brock Lesnar actually, he's not the Hulk, okay?
He doesn't think in, like, Bork talk. Like, that's not a thing.
Brock smash, yeah? Okay. Who
But
else has got injured, Sam?
that's not the only person that's got injured, because Eric Rowan also got injured during a match with Cesaro at a live event in Michigan. A medical evaluation revealed that it's an injured arm that he's got, but it's worth noting that he did work the next night's live event, so the extent of his injuries is still unknown, but that's another injury on the list nevertheless.
Shit.
And Tyson Kidd is going to be out
Yeah.
for 14 months.
Oh, Jesus.
He's getting the same kind of neck surgery that Steve Austin, Edge, and Chris Benoit have gotten. It's not a temporary fix at all. It's going to be the full surgery, which is probably the best decision he could make. He sent out in a tweet with a photo with Natalia being like, I'm very lucky to have my best friend at my side for this pre-op. 36 hours, I will unleash my mutant healing powers. And he's smiling in the photo, so at least there's that. I mean,
Oh, man. This has led to Bret Hart saying a bunch of shit, and...
yeah, he's blamed Samoa Joe, hasn't
Well,
he?
fuck off, okay? Like,
It's not his fault, it's a freak accident.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like, how do you not know what a muscle buster is? At this point, how do you not know? Other people in the company have done the move.
well, I think, like, we don't know what shape Tyson's Kid neck was already in. It could have just been on the last bump. Like, he had one bump left and it would have done that anyway, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like it was, no matter who did it, it would have, like, caused him this injury, no matter what the move was.
Yeah.
But I think as well that, I think Brett's just saying this because he's just related to the guy. Like, did Bret Hart make any kind of note about Eric Rowan?
No.
Okay.
No, he
He
didn't.
wasn't asked about Eric Rowan, so...
Okay, still, I mean, like, I don't think he would have even said anything if it wasn't for,
I think the
Tyson
point he was
being
trying to
related.
make was that perhaps the style is just a bit over the top from back in his day kind of thing.
But the thing about Brett is, he's like, I've never injured anyone. But that's because he worked a style that, even from an outside perspective, was slow as fuck.
Yeah, really. Like, it wouldn't have hurt anybody the way he was
Yeah.
doing moves.
I could have wrestled Brett, and I probably would be alright.
I would have liked to see that.
You know, like, even that, even like the Iron Man match back in the day with Shawn, right? I have never seen that match until just recently. And I'm like, this is the slowest thing ever. Like, I'm like, come on, I know you got an hour, but what the fuck? Hurry up, do something.
And yet
it's
he's still
basically-
hailed as one of the best wrestlers to have ever lived.
Well, I
so...
think that's probably his point, is that I worked a proper style that was safe, didn't hurt people.
But my point is, it's boring.
Yeah, like, there's
It's-
no safe way to do this thing when you're in this profession. Like, I'm not speaking as if I know, I'm just speaking, like, sensibly. But, I mean, it sucks whenever people get injured, and this just adds to the long, long list of people who are injured now, because you've got Jamie Noble, you've got Eric Rowan, you've got Tyson Kidd, you've got Goldust with a shoulder injury, you've got Rusev who's injured his foot, you've got Hornswoggle with his shoulder, you've got Alex Riley with his knee, you've got Hideo Itami with a rotor cuff, you've got Sami Zayn with his shoulder. It's just endless. Endless amounts of injuries right now. Oh, and
But I
Daniel
think it's-
Bryan as well, Jey Uso.
But the thing is, I think half the injuries, like now, people would have been so naive about it, they would have just worked anyway. But I think now, because they've got, I'm not saying this is bad, because this is good. I mean, it's a good thing that fucking, they have proper doctors and shit. Like, they're not taking any chances with people's health, and that's great. That's a great idea. But like,
Yeah, it's like Jamie Noble said, they don't take chances with
yeah,
it. But
and that's good. That's a good thing.
in a perfect world, these injuries shouldn't be happening as frequently as they are.
Do you know what would be even better if they gave everybody a vacation like they just gave Randy Orton?
Yeah, really, he's
that
yucking
makes
it up
sense.
over in the Bahamas now, ain't he?
Somewhere like that.
Somewhere. I mean, I get Orton's one of the top guys, and he's been wrestling for a decade or more now, but come on. Surely
Yeah,
you can give
there's no
vacations to
reason.
younger
Yeah,
guys as
exactly.
well.
There's no reason why
Like,
They
what
can't
qualifies
just-
for a vacation? What qualifies you
knows.
to get one?
there's no reason why they can't just... They have enough people on the roster where they can say, right, this guy and this guy, they're on vacation now, and when they come back, this guy and this guy can go on a vacation, and we'll write the storylines
'Cause-
around it.
Because it's like any job. Any job is like, you've earned vacation. Go take vacation. Do something.
Because that will
Fuck off.
prevent nagging injuries. It just lets you heal. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't understand. Like, I'm not saying I'm a bodybuilder, but when you go to the gym, you need a day or more to properly recover from the gym. And these guys are going to the gym, and then they're fucking wrestling every night. They never have that point where they recover and come back, more energized. They're just burning out. It's surprising they can do it without steroids.
It's because they're dependent on these people so much within these angles. They don't build anyone else to take the place for them.
And they
And
have
I'm not saying
3
that Tyson
fucking
Kidd was a main
hours.
eventer, but these people, like, no matter their position on the card, they were doing something.
It's kind of like UFC, where I wouldn't say bad last year, but certainly the year before and now, they're calling it the injury bug, because everyone's just getting hurt. Because they're putting on so many shows, and they're constantly relying on so many people to fucking fill these cards. Like, just recently, like, Jose Aldo is supposed to be facing Conor McGregor, but Jose Aldo's broken his ribs. Similar to Jamie Noble. He's broken his ribs, like, trading.
Oh, he didn't get
So-
slammed into a barricade by Brock Lesnar.
No, I don't think it was that, though. But, now that card is completely in jeopardy. It's kind of a similar thing. It's like, if you give people more time off, and this is more to do with wrestling, not really UFC, because they train all the time, but give them time off, give them vacations. I mean, like, call up people from NXT. Fuck it. I mean, like, give them a shot, because they'll probably get over, and then when Orton comes back, he could feud with Kevin Owens, or he could feud with Tyler Breeze. He could feud... I'm not mentioning the only two that I
Randy
know.
Orton versus Tyler Breeze at WrestleMania 32, match of the year.
He could feud with all of these people. It doesn't make any fucking difference. And he could put him over, because who cares? It's Randy Orton at this point. Like, he's been there for 10
he's not
years.
really doing anything now, is he?
Exactly.
He's in the main event for whatever knows reason. Like, why is he there? Use him in the way people are using Cena now. Put him in the mid-card. Enhance talent.
Yeah, the Owens thing and the Cena thing is the best thing on it right now, but
for sure.
the only part of that promo that I truly hated was the bit where Cena's just like, I got 2 chances. Just fucking don't do that. And then, where he's doing some weird, like, I respect Cena, because I don't know Chinese, right? I know no Chinese, I don't know French, right?
You barely
He's a
know
clever-
English.
I barely know my own fucking language. Thank you, you asshole. But,
Welcome, buddy.
right. Right?
He knows arsehole.
Stop proving him right! The point is that, the moment he was like, and this is something universal, he just points to his eye, like, I will kick your ass, and like, just points to his own fucking ass, and I was like, what? What? You didn't need to do that, just say you're gonna kick his ass!
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many years ago it was when he just randomly said something about poopy.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's
what
that
are you
kind of-
doing?
This is just the classic John Cena promo style. Like, that's just what he does.
Yeah.
He's a fucking moron.
You just say you're gonna kick his ass. That would be more effective than doing some weird Cena sign language. Like, I get what you're trying to say, John.
Going back to this Tyson Kidd thing, though, I think it's interesting that he's having the full neck surgery thing, because the one person that didn't do that was Kurt Angle, and now we could say Kurt Angle's just kidding himself and he's fucking killing himself.
Well,
But
he is.
but he's still wrestling, and he's not paralyzed or anything. So maybe there was something to the kind of surgery that Kurt Angle had.
Well, true, but
Because Edge had to retire, and he had the full surgery. But Kurt
Austin
Angle
had to
didn't.
retire, he had the full surgery, Benoit,
Yeah,
well,
Benoit.
well, we'll ignore that, but I think this is better than a temporary fix anyway, because why would you just put a band-aid over something you can properly fix?
I mean, look at Brian.
Very true.
He had a temporary fix.
That's another thing Bret Hart kind of stepped out of line a bit and said, "Oh, yeah, Daniel Bryan's never coming back."
Yeah,
Like,
but he
hang
said,
on.
but Brett said it was to do with concussions. Like, he said it was
I
to
think
do...
Bret's had one too many. Like, that...
But
no
that
offense
was
to
what-
him, but he's, he does have memory issues and shit, doesn't he? Because he had a stroke and shit.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
well-
even that, it's that he's kind of mental anyway, because he finished a match with a broken leg.
But
That's
the thing
not
is,
something normal people do, Brett.
But didn't Brett have to retire? I mean, obviously he had a stroke later on in life, but like...
But yeah,
didn't he
that's
have
what
to
caused
retire?
it, yeah.
Yeah, because of Goldberg kicking him in the head and giving him a concussion.
Probably, that sounds about right.
That's what happened. And like, I can imagine that there's probably someone freaking out backstage because it's been literally nearly 365 days to the day where he suffered his first concussion, and but Daniel Bryan suffers his second concussion. So I'm guessing it's probably something to do with that, and there's probably an element of truth to it where it's like they don't like it if you keep fucking
Well,
suffering.
yeah, look at Christian. He's just not allowed back.
Yeah, he
Even though
quietly retired, quote unquote.
He's technically cleared, but they're just like, you're just going to keep getting concussions, so you're just going to get worse. There's no point putting yourself through that. It's the same thing with Mick Foley. He decided to retire because his doctor was like, look, you're going to, like, obviously not as bad, but you're going down a Benoit path. You're just going to fry your brain if you keep doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, WWE has some responsibility with that kind of thing. Like, ever since the Benoit issue, they can sort of they can sense when that's coming up. I mean, look at what Corey Graves did. He got 2 concussions, and then they offered him a 2-year contract as a, announcer guy. So they got that going for them at least. They can recognize it, and I think kudos to Tyson for getting the full surgery. If it's what he needs, it's what he'll get. Shame that he'll be out for over a year, because he's a damn good worker, but...
I think we forget as well how long he's actually been wrestling. He's a veteran. He's an older guy, really.
Yeah, he's
in
been
the
around
business.
since 2008, at
I
least
mean,
in the WWE. I don't know
I
how
saw
long he's
him when he
wrestling
was in Ring
before
of Honor
that.
over here.
Yeah, exactly. He's been wrestling for donkey's years now, so maybe
And
he
it's a
needs this
shame-
time off.
The shame is that WWE left it so long to actually give him anything to do.
Well, you could argue that his tag team with Cesaro was some of his best work that he's done recently, same for Cesaro, but you can't really excel too high in the tag division nowadays, so... And I mean, it's like I say, he's never going to be a main eventer. Like, he's never going to get to the main event leagues, but you can still appreciate him for what he is, a damn good worker.
I still can't find an explanation as to why they let go D.H. Smith.
Yeah, really. It's like, he's performing well in New Japan and Global Force, so you think he would be a hot commodity, but no.
Yeah, like, what was wrong with the New Heart Foundation? They just didn't do anything with him.
I don't know, it's just one of many WWE's weird decisions, like not putting Chyna in the Hall of Fame.
Oh boy, here we go.
Gonna end the show with a big bag of worms. Keelan, why don't you tell us what's happening with Chyna?
Don't treat me like a
There's
woman.
quite a lot happening with China, really. It's like a whole saga going on, but for those that don't know, she's back from Japan and is now filming a documentary called The Reconstruction of China. And there's a Kickstarter campaign and all that kind of thing. And in the latest sort of promo video to promote the film, she basically says that she wants to bury the hatchet with WWE, put it all behind them, she wants to go in the Hall of Fame, and she just wants to leave the past behind her. Now, just to, preface this, Chyna was an amazing talent. She was a big deal during the Attitude Era. She was a member of DX.
Okay.
She had a run in the Divas division and the men's division, and, arguably helped get Eddie Guerrero over at the time. she was a big deal. People wanted her on TV shows. She was all over the media. And as sexist and backwards and offensive as the Attitude Era was, you know, by today's standards, she was actually kind of a feminist figure at the time. You know, she took it to the men. She didn't take any shit. She had that kind of cheesy, you know, her theme music, you know, don't treat me like a man, don't treat me like a woman. But
she's the only female intercontinental champion ever, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's not... Whatever she did after she left the company, you can argue that while she was in the company, she was a trendsetter, a trailblazer almost for women in the company.
Yeah, so like, I just thought I would just make that point that Chyna, in terms of a Hall of Fame entry for a woman, she deserves it, but she's batshit insane.
Yep, she's kind of off the rocker a little bit. And what has she done to kind of cement this idea about her?
Well, there's a lot of things actually, but the problem with this documentary, to start with, is that she's talking about getting back into WWE's good books, and she's sorting her life out and all this kind of thing. It was only like 3 weeks ago that she was shit-faced on a YouTube video bitching about Triple H, saying that Triple H hit her, saying that X-Pac raped her.
Oh,
and was
God,
just like
yeah. I remember this.
Yeah, and she was just a complete bumbling mess.
Did you fucking hear the radio interview that she did recently with, like, Opie and Anthony or something, where she basically said those things, and she said, oh, I think X-Pac might be a bit gay, and, like, just saying all of these weird things, and then X-Pac called in and was like, stop lying. You're just making up things now, and it's like, well, sure, she did a lot of things, but now one could argue that her decisions and her actions have kind of blacklisted her, in a way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's no problem with somebody wanting to turn their life around, and there's no real problem with somebody wanting to make a documentary about it. But she should be making this documentary 5 years from now, when she's actually proven that, you know, she's stabilized her life and she's back on the right track. She should be mending fences with WWE in like 10 years.
Yeah,
when all of this
when
is
she's in
forgotten.
the middle of a shitstorm.
Yeah, not like a few weeks after she just made the latest controversy. Like, WWE's not going to touch her with a 10-foot barge pole. Whether Triple H hit her or X-Pac did anything weird, she has to understand that there's no way that company is going to ever let her back into their good graces. Not in this capacity. And, nobody trusts her right now, so...
But I would argue if Hunt is always going to be there, she's never going to win.
But another point though, if Triple H did do that to her, and let's be fair, him cheating on her with Stephanie McMahon was a horrible thing to do, and it did screw up her career. But if that's the case, why would she even want to go back?
Yeah,
you know, she should just take the high road and be like, fuck them, and just... But she's not, she's still a mess herself.
Well, it's because without them, all she would be is a porn star. She hasn't done anything else other than wrestling. And I'm not saying being a porn star is a bad thing, you know, whatever a woman wants to do with her body is her own business, but, you know, when you have this reputation in a company where you're like, oh, she was a trailblazer for women's wrestling, you kind of want to hold on to that for as long as possible.
The problem as well is that Triple H, when he did the Stone Cold podcast, was like, I don't want... Wait, that was JR.
Yeah, get the right impression.
Well, I don't want my kids to Google Chyna. And all the porn comes up, basically.
No, you know what? I googled Chyna the other day. No porn.
But here's the thing. There are people in that Hall of Fame that are not exactly, you know...
Oh yeah, we've already made this argument multiple times. There are a load of shit people in the Hall of Fame, like rapists, maybe murderers as well. Just shit people, in all honesty. And it's okay, though, because they're men.
The biggest hypocrisy, though, with that whole thing, is the fact that when she did her first porn, it was with X-Pac. X-Pac has gone back to the company. So you can't say we can't let Chyna in, because X-Pac kind of already is in.
Well, to be fair, X-Pac isn't making, like, wild
Well, no, of course,
accusations
but-
and controversial appearances. Like,
That's kind of the way you should be doing it then. Don't do that. Don't go mental. Don't go apeshit.
That's
Don't
the
go
thing. She's
mental.
ruining her. She has so many arguments that can fall on her side, but she's not helped herself at all. She's just ruined her own chances.
yeah, she kind of has a problem with keeping her personal life personal. And that's a big problem, especially in the climate that she's in right now, where all of this shit is happening and she wants to get back in their good graces, but as long as she keeps doing the things that she's doing, she's not going to be in there anytime soon.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel sorry for her. She's clearly got issues. She's clearly gone through a lot of shit. If you, like you said, if you listen to that, Opie and I think it's Jim Norton interview, there's something off about her, you know? Like, X-Pac called in, he seemed like a genuine guy. He admits his own addictions and problems. She seems like she's in denial, or has got some kind of split personality, or something. Like, she's not on that, she's not on a road to recovery yet. To me, this is just a band-aid she's trying to put over everything.
Let's put it this way. There are people in that Hall of Fame like Jake the Snake Roberts who, at one point, you were like, nope, never going in. Never gonna happen. And he's in it. It's the same with Scott Hall. They're like, never gonna happen. Ain't gonna fucking happen. Because they've all got issues. And then they turned their lives around and now they're in it. So...
Yeah, but that's the thing. They did turn their lives around. It took fucking years.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chyna's just like, yeah, I'm turning my life around. Like, well, just give it a couple years first, you know?
And actually try, maybe sign up for DDP Yoga, because that has a pretty good success rate.
Yeah, don't just walk into WWE headquarters and take a photo and then be like, I should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, no, last week you were saying Triple H hit you. Like, just get some perspective. Like, I want to know who this documentary maker is, because whoever it is just a complete idiot.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
exploiting her.
I mean, that's what most documentaries are, but I think we have to wrap up now as we've gone through all of our news, and we have hit our time limit, so...
Jeez.
What
Well-
a great note to end the show on, eh?
Well, yeah, that's, well, it's not exactly the best way to end it, but, you know, I'm not helping. So,
Don't treat me like a woman. Don't treat me like a man.
Don't treat me like a man. Don't treat me like a man.
Gonna let this ride out.
Don't treat me like a man. Anyway, so I've been Andy Gordon.
Hi, I've been Sam Brooks.
I've been Keelan Balderson.
We'll see you on Bite Size, or on the broadcast, or wherever, I don't know. Goodbye.
Suplah.com.
So what would you